Yo, how's it going? Yowzers. How you doing out there? Hello, space travelers, and welcome to the Death and Glory Show. I do believe we're on all channels today. We're just going to hang out, do some chatting, so come on down into the chat. Let us know you're alive. Let us know you exist. And let's have some fun. I could do with some fun, I must admit. It's been one crapper of a week already. Woo. Yeah. Got some music. Do we have some music production? So basically, people on the Fans of Death and Glorious Facebook group have asked for certain subjects to be covered, which is amazing. So if you're not part of the Fans of Death and Glorious, you need group on Facebook, you should come and join us. Come and join us. I don't think I have a link anywhere for you, but it is in there somewhere. Anyway, so they've asked for a little bit of music production, a little bit of mental health, of which I have zero, and a little bit of science fiction, science fact. Science fiction, science fact. I had intended to put together like little segment, like dividing films, but that hasn't happened this week. Mostly because I've got Comic Cons. We go back on the road on Sunday. Bristol Anime and Gaming Con. Bristol! It's happening, babes. It's happening. So if you're in the Bristol area, come on down. Sunday, about 3 o'clock, I think we're on. We're generally on about 3 o'clock everywhere we go. So that's cool. So I've got to work out some stuff for that. I've got a little bit of music production we can work on today, I think. So yeah. All the tours are coming out now. So we've got pretty much a full tour for the year all sorted out. What? Why do I have to log in and sign in on my own thing? Come on now. I won't worry about that. I'll just do it on my phone. Yeah, so we're basically this Sunday we start a whole month of touring, which is nice. Yeah, it's nice to be out in the road again. Let's just get the tour on here. Come on, do the thing. Abby's in the house. How you doing, Abby? Ooh, what is going on? Abby, how you doing? I'm just trying to... why is it doing that? Go backspace tour. Come on, do the command. There you go. There's all my dates. All my dates right there. Slightly tipsy. Yay! Well, thank you for making it back from the pub in time. That's very nice of you. Let's just chat crap, shall we? What are we chatting about today? So we've got our 3 segments. We can go into that pretty easy. I'm kind of like really impressed by the whole zombie thing that happened last week, and then that whole thing with the BBC. And we're not gonna dive into like the zombie fungus pandemic thing. It is terrifying. It does, for anyone who saw that post, it's literally about ants, and you can look into it. Just look into it. I'm not gonna go into it because it's horrendous. Scary biscuits. So my mom was like, why don't you do like a death by cross species thing? It's scary. It's scary. And also I'm trying to get the audio to be a bit louder today because it was very quiet last week for sure. So I've got a different microphone, so I don't have the microphone right up in my face anymore. I've got this little tiny thing that I think you can only see if I put my hand behind it there. Because I do like things to be quite low because we've got a lot of light going on in here. So actually by the time you see it, I turn everything down. So it's quite dark, I think, for you guys. Maybe just move this a wee tiny bit. Ooh, there we go. Just so I'm away from my chat box. Hey, those ants are scaring the crap out of me. It is terrifying. Poor ants. Poor bastard ants. Anyway, if you're interested, zombie fungus, go look it up. Go look it up. So what was the occasion today that you were partying? What's going on there? What is going on? So we've often talked about the fact that I have zero mental ability at the moment because of like menopause and I forget everything. So in the last like 3 days, I have left my phone in a taxi. I got it back, thank God. Very shortly after I left it in a taxi. I have lost my wallet. Like my driving license is gone. All my cards are gone. I have no idea where it is. Nothing's been used. I have just today taken the notion to cancel everything. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it. I don't think it's been stolen. I don't think anyone else has it. I think it's knocking around. I just have no idea where it is. And I also yesterday lost my keys. And then today I found them in my bag. Even though I had looked in my bag like 3 or 4 times, I could not find my keys. And my keys were in my bag the whole time. So I found my keys, which is nice. I've got my phone back, which is awesome. But I do not have my wallet. So there you go. That's what's happened. I was very close to not coming online, I have to be honest, because I was so stressed about losing everything and just, not really feeling into it today. It's just the end of the week almost. Needed a drink. Fair dues. I hope you're continuing at home. Are you working in the morning? Or are you working in the morning? Let's hope not. Let's hope not. We've got some tunes going in the background. It is literally one of my working playlists. I was going to go into a lot of music. I have a show on Sunday and I really need to work on some of music production, but I can't do it today. I've just decided, I just can't do it. Can't do it. I'll have to get up early tomorrow and do it and just work all tomorrow and then all Saturday for this show. I'm actually really stressed about it because it's always hard, like the first show back after a while, and now this is a nice little run and my videos aren't right. I'm doing a new set which I've not done before. I've never actually done the album Death by Admin as it's supposed to be from start to finish with the animations, because when I did the album launch, the animations for the comic animations weren't done. So it was only the music videos that were done, and then when we actually went on tour, we didn't do the full album as it is because it had piano songs, so we wanted to get some really big kicking songs in there for the tour, so we didn't do it. And now this is the first time I'm going to do the second album as if the way it's supposed to be done, and it's a new set for me essentially. And I did play some of it at the fan party, but I still have to. I've got a lot to do on it. I think a big ton to do. I'm pretty sure, and I'm a little nervous about it. I'm a bit nervous. So yeah, got therapy and then some work at home. Oh yeah, oh no, yeah. But not an early start. Well, there you go. Party time. Excellent. Yeah, party time. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying party time. Party time. Yeah. So what I thought we could do is party time for the mental healthy bit. We talked about my book. We talked about this book last week, this notebook thingy, and we're on our second week of the notebook. What is this? What is it called? I don't even know. what is this thing? Weekly planner. And so what it does, it allows you to take stock of your weeks basically as you go through and do them. So I thought what I'd do is I'd just go over last week's stuff that I did last week with you. So here is how the book looks. You've got loads of pages and loads of little things about like what habits you want to get done and all the rest, and you get to tick them off. And this week I've actually not really ticked anything off. Goal journal. Yeah, it's a goal journal. So last week I put in loads of stuff that I wanted to get done, and then I actually had my taxes to do. I forgot that I hadn't done any of my taxes. So the whole of last week was taken up by doing taxes, and it happened. I had finished them by Sunday. So that was okay. We organized the house a little bit. That was a win. So you get to write at the end of the week this week's wins, and then what you can do better next week. So last week I did all my social media posts. I wrote some short stories. I haven't written any short stories this week, so that's a massive loss. I did my tax return and I did my social post last week. And then this week I wanted to go to the gym. Hey, the whole Rock family's in the house now. I wanted to go to the gym twice. I have not been at all. I tried to go on Thursday. This is Thursday. I tried to go yesterday, but it turned out that I had not paid my gym subscription properly, and it all went to poop. And I've just noticed my camera's not got any power. There you go. It's powered up now, baby. Yeah, so I did. I did loads of stuff. Sorry, so I haven't been in the gym this week, so that's fine. I haven't meditated this week, and it says have 2 non-alcohol days, and that hasn't happened yet either. So I am failing this week completely. Yeah, and I've got a show on Sunday, so that's a killer. So everything is pretty much fucked. So yeah, I'm glad I kept a journal, so now I can feel worse about the fact everything's bloody ruined. You know, this is the point where I'll be giving up on having that journal altogether, just because it makes me feel so bad that I haven't done anything. But I am attempting to be better. I just haven't done it. So, Rick, what's going on? What is going on with you? Ruined! Yeah, the whole thing's ruined. Everything's ruined. I've lost all my shit. I am just like an absolute mess. The only saving grace is I'm actually quite on top of it with my work, with my day jobs. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm going to meetings, I'm doing, you know, I'm pretty well organized in my day job, and I'm trying to take on a little bit more work, managing buildings or what have you, and that would be nice. But ultimately, you know, I'm having meetings with my marketing manager. That's good. All that's worked out. And I'm basically like, right now I'm just living that exact fear about why I didn't usually do live streams like this, because I don't have anything to say, because everything is just a bag of, I'm just like a burning trash fire. What do you call it? I'm a dumpster fire, but like a big barge. A big barge of crap. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really short one today. What else are we going to do? Because I'm not going to do it in the music production. Yeah, this is not going well. This week is just not going well. I've lost all my stuff. And I've lost the will to even think about anything. So I think we're probably going to call that a day today. And then go and delete all of these. Because it's not going well. Alright, I am going to just come offline because I've just like wound myself up into this little tight spring of anxious terror. And I'm just going to go away and hide and have a good think about myself. Go and get myself sorted out. Try and come back and do my show on the weekend. Yeah, and do my show at the weekend, and then see where that gets us. Let's see where that gets us. I'm just so behind on my rehearsing, so behind on like all of the band things, but I'm really organized in the admin. It's a bit odd. All the practical stuff is like just gone out the window. And then me losing all my bits it's just made it so much worse. So much worse. So much worse. And I feel like if you're going to be on a live stream, you should probably be saying positive things or something or other. I know, right? It's like, Arthur, come on. Thank you for your like on Facebook, but Jesus, love. Have you been paying attention to what I've been saying? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe we should just talk about something. Maybe we should stop talking about myself and start talking about something else. So give us a subject that we can wrangle about, and maybe that'll work out for us. Maybe we should just go straight into that science fiction, science fact. We just do that. That'd be nice. What was our question this week? What is our question this week? I think our question this week was, will the space station die by fire? I think that's what we were looking at the other week, wasn't it? So let's just check that out. Give us a little project. I actually feel a lot better now that I'm not talking about myself. Now that I've had a little mental breakdown on a stream. Oh my god. Okay. There you go. Now I'm only small. I don't feel so bad now that I'm only a little small person on the screen. That feels better, doesn't it? That feels better. What are we looking for? We are looking for... Oh yeah. ISS. Will the ISS die by fire? We saw something about this, didn't we? Oh yeah, there we go. International Space Station is doomed to die by fire. Oof. How about that? Reject all of those. Nobody cares. Space Station algae. Oh yeah, so I should say that last week we did a really good show of whether the space station was turning green via algae, and we did come to the conclusion that indeed algae was getting on the space station. Sea algae was appearing on the outside of the space station on its own, and they don't know how it got there. Whether that's turning the entire station green or not is probably a little bit, fiction, but it is happening. There's a wee bit of it happening. For sure. Anyway, so we're going to watch this. We're going to look at this. Aren't we? What goes up must come down, including, sadly, the International Space Station. For precisely 20 years now, the massive orbiting laboratory has constantly been home to humans, the lucky handful of Earthlings who had... Oh, I can't even read it if it goes blue. The lucky handful of Earthlings who at any given time venture into the topsy-turvy world of microgravity. But like the rest of us, the International Space Station is aging. Who wrote this? This does not sound very... it doesn't sound very scientific, does it? It sounds like it was written by a student. Or perhaps an AI. Maybe. Where do we get to? Ooh. Space station is aging. And who starts a sentence with and? And it can't stay in orbit on its own indefinitely. It needs a regular boost or fuel injection from visiting spacecraft. If those boosts stop or something else goes wrong, sooner or later the lab will fall. The lab will fall. Just sounds like doom metal lyrics right there. The lab will fall. Fall. Yeah. I need to like have my own like melody band. I get like, what do you call it? Like, you know the way you have like three people singing harmonies? I could probably do like three different types of screams. I should do that. I should do that. I saw someone post on TikTok that there was a band, and I don't remember the name of the band, and everyone in the band screamed, and they all screamed different types of screams. So like one was really like bass, and one was like a mid, and one was a high pitched one. So maybe I should just like do that at my next album, is like, you know, mix up my screams. I don't really have any screams, but you know, I'll mix up what little screams I have. I think that's a good lyric. I'm gonna put that in the book actually. Right, there you go. Backing band, haha. So in our book, our journal of wonders, you know, we have a hefty. I have to say, it is a hefty note section. That is all notes. So I have notes from my marketing meeting here. But I'm going to start a page here of random good lyrics. Random lyrics. Random lyrics. Whoop. And I'm definitely going to put that in. Sooner or later, the lab will fall. I could definitely use that in the next album. The lab will fall. The lab will fall! That's fun. I think that's fun. I'm having fun with that. That's good. That's good. Okay, so basically, any cargo ship that comes to the space station, or indeed any ferry ship, usually has surplus propellant to a certain degree. Blah, 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 blah. Tracking objects following the sky, blah, blah, blah. They have to have propellant to do the rendezvous, and then they can sometimes have extra to do a reboost. Nice. So we actually learned something about this last week, didn't we? So we learned... Oh, sorry. We weren't... Sorry, we're supposed to be on there. Sorry. My bad. So we learned a little bit something about this last week, that the space station gets covered in pollution because of these back and forward rendezvous and refueling or resupply that the space station has. So the space station gets dirty from the pollution of these rockets, and when they went out to clean the space station, they were getting rid of the pollutants, but obviously they're scientists, so they grabbed the gunk that they cleared off the front, and they had a wee look at it under a microscope, and that's where they found the algae. So actually this ties in quite well to what we learned last week. We're learning a lot. We are learning a lot. Okay, where did we get to? For now, those flights will continue through at least 2024. Again, there's another sentence beginning with "and." Who starts sentences with "ands"? I think this was written by a robot. And because the station's international nature, it's a partnership among the United States, Russia, Canada, Japan, and the participating nations of the European Space Agency. The decision to retire it will always be based on both engineering and politics. Well, if we're waiting on politics to do it, we're fucking fucked, aren't we? While ISS is currently approved to operate through at least December 2024. Really? It's only been approved that long? This reminds me of an interesting story somebody once told me on a train. So I guess they must, like, on the space station, they probably get like audited every so often. So then they're told, okay, so you're not redundant yet, so we'll sign you off for a year, and then, you know, we'll come back and see if you're worth keeping up. I mean, that happens with buildings, fire risk assessments, everything, you know, like I think everything on Earth happens with as well. So I don't think it's going to fall out of the sky in 2024. It's just somebody will have to assess it before that date finishes. Anyway, I was on a train, right? I was on a train many years ago. Yeah, I was on this train coming back from Scotland, and I was really, really sick. I'm like soy intolerant, right? And I obviously had like a vegan lasagna or something in Scotland. And by the time I was halfway down the road, back down to London, I was really ill. Anyway, I met this fella who was on the train sitting beside me, and he works as a concreter. And there's a lot of like builders and stuff from the north of England travel around. When I was in Northern Ireland working in Chinese, there was a lot of them would be like building things. So they'd always be around our Chinese because that's where all the bed and breakfasts were that were feeding the workmen in Belfast kind of thing. Anyway, so this fella was from the north of England somewhere, and he was coming down to London to do concreting, and he told me that he was part of the team that did the concrete foundations for the Shard, which is the largest building in London. It is the recent skyscraper in London, the Old Shard. And he was part of the team that put the concrete in there. And he was telling me that the concrete is only guaranteed for 10 years. That's under a large building. It's only guaranteed for 10 years. And you're like, what? What? What does that mean? Does it mean it's falling out of insurance in the next 10 years? Whatever it is. It's a really small number. And I'm like, that's mad. That's mad. That is crazy. Crazy. So I don't know if it's true. I'm telling you what some fella on a train told me. Hey, there's Pete in the house. Retire the space station by blowing it up. Speed run the Kessler effect. All right. So I have met a band called the Kessler Effect. I think I have a fair idea what that means, but I don't remember it. Kessler effect. It's got something to do with asteroids. I mean, we're obviously going to look it up. Of course, we're going to look it up. But I think it's got something to do with like asteroid belts or something. Is that? It's the gravity of a thing creates a belt or something like that. Now we're going to have to go and look it up. I've forgotten. Kessler effect. Yeah. So the gravity of a thing creates, yeah, it's space crap around it. It's Kessler syndrome. What's Wikipedia say? First by NASA scientists, blah, 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 blah. It's a scenario in which the density of objects in low Earth orbit due to space pollution is high enough that collisions between objects could cause a cascade in which each collision generates space debris that increases the likelihood of further collisions. Space junk smashing into each other creates more space junk, which smashes into more space junk. Is that what we're saying? In 2019, Kessler wrote that the modelling results had concluded that the debris environment was already unstable, such that any attempt to achieve a growth-free small debris environment by eliminating sources of past debris will likely fail because fragments from future collisions will be generated faster than atmospheric drag will remove them. Now, if you understood that, you're working on this on a nice high plane. I think I basically got that. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Basically, yeah, eventually it would make it impossible to leave the planet. I have so I have written Death and Gloria 8. I have written the idea up to Death and Gloria 8. So, and one of them is death by garbage, and that's exactly the plot. Is that there's so much garbage that we can't deal with it at all. So, you know what? Death and Glory 3 can actually cover that a little bit. I think I do cover that a little bit with one of the... Yeah, so in Death and Glory 3, we have employed middlemen who are the garbage collectors, and they're basically out around the galaxy, and that's what they do. They just clean up all the garbage that's out there. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Ooh, sorry. That was me touching my mic. Yeah. So in Death and Glory 3, we're gonna have people whose job it is to go and fix satellites and just clean up all the garbage that's knocking about. Yeah. I've got something in my eye. I've got something in my eye. Ooh. Cool. All right. So let's go back on this. I need to. I'm actually feeling like I need to zoom in on this. How do I view? Zoom. Oh wait, I'm getting old. There's probably a shortcut for that, isn't there? Oh yeah. This and then that. Hey! That's better. Oh that's so much better. I can read, I can see. Basically, it's the main scenario for Planet. It's the main scenario for Planet X. What's that? What is Planet X? Where did we get to? Oh yeah, I was got here. While the ISS is currently approved to operate to at least December 2024 by the international partnership governments, from a technical standpoint, we have cleared ISS to fly until the end of 2028, NASA officials wrote in a statement to space.com. Additionally, our analysis has not identified any issues that would preclude us from extending that beyond if needed. I guess a lot of the stuff on the space station is actually just like upgradable. They've kind of upgraded some stuff, right? Yeah. Oh, it's a anime. Okay, we need to watch that. I'm not going to put it on my random lyrics page. We're not going to do that. We're going to start a new page. Animes. No, actually, no. Just watch list. Rin's watch list. And we're going to put what? Planets. That's good. I do have other things I'm going to add to this watch list, actually. The other things I have to watch are Trigun Stampede. Trigun and Trigun Stampede. Stampede. If anyone's seen that. And the other things I was down here to watch. Oh, is that new film Megan with Megan. With that AI. Megan and Umbrella Academy. That Jared Way from My Chemical Romances series. I actually thought Umbrella Academy was I thought it was like a Resident Evil spin-off, but apparently not. Original Trigun, haven't seen Stampede. Yeah, so I'm going to watch that. And then my marketing manager, I'll just go back on here while I'm talking about this. My marketing manager told me this week to follow Sci-Fi the channel on Instagram, which I've done. And actually, the very first thing that came up was the ARC, which is The Last of Us, not Last of Us, Among Us. It's basically Among Us as a TV show. And it's, and it looks very 70s. It looks very early, like first Aliens. It looks very good. Actually, I commented that it looks as if it's an AI creation where someone was like, based on the 70s alien style, give us a modern sci-fi, and it's styled very well from the pictures I've seen. But everyone else was commenting that it's a Among Us show. And Among Us is that game that people play online. I've never played it. I don't play games. I should play games. I should, but I don't. Um so there's a new series called The Ark, which is just started on Sci-Fi, and I had so much to say about it. And of course, I was like, "Oh, The Ark! People are getting off planet. They're fighting to get off on the last ship." Well, we have a song about that. It's called "The Escape." So yeah, nobody answered me on there. I guess they don't have a lot of people chatting about sci-fi on their sci-fi channel. I don't know why. It didn't seem they had much engagement, to be fair. Are people engaging with channels on Instagram? I guess not. But Umbrella Academy, oh yeah. Started watching The Expanse. Yes, my friend. Umbrella Academy is what? It's kind of okay. Okay, good. The Expanse is amazing. I don't like if you like The Expanse is so good, and definitely Death and Glory 3 is going to be based heavily on a lot of The Expanse, because I really like the fact the science is right, and it's just good. It's good. There is a shut-in series. I don't know. A lot of people have like a shut-in episode. They have an entire series, like series 3 or 4, I think, is an entire shut in where they're on a planet. And when I watched it the first time, I didn't like it because I far prefer the larger politics stories than just like a shut in. But having said all of that, it was actually, I've rewatched it right up until the end of the series. We need more. We just need more. There's not enough of it, for sure. And now that I've rewatched it, I'm not. I'm not again. I'm fine with the shut-in series. It's fine. I think I need to move this. Oh, hello. My hood is so big it's getting in the way of the microphone. I just need this to go that way a wee bit. Just a wee bit. There we go. Where did we get to then with this? What has happened there? Ooh-wee! Oh, where we're going with any of this, that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to do it this way. 1 second. Let's get back on topic, shall we? Let's get back on topic. Oh, come on. What is going on? Come on. Whoop. All right, where did we get to? Where did we get to? Oh yeah, so we can continue the space station until 2028 if we need to. Oh yeah, we can go beyond, right? But someday the station will come down. The lab will fall. The facility is aging and at constant risk of impacts from space debris. That Kessler effect. Come on. And meteorites. If humans don't retire it, eventually the hazards of space will. That is again and that's a great lyric. Let's get that on our lyric sheet. If humans don't retire it. Retire it. The hazards of space will. You know what? I was thinking that, Pete. I was thinking that. It does sound like a Death Clock song. The lab will fall. Amazing. What else we got? The eventual fate of the space station has always been a specter for NASA and Roscosmos. Russia's Federal Space Agency. That name is so much cooler than NASA. Roscosmos. Listen to Mummy's silly voice. Roscosmos. Papoose, sweetie. But as time has passed, it has loomed larger on the minds of space experts. I bet it keeps them awake at night. Oh, Will. The way this is written is so comical. This is obviously like, I don't know, Scientific America is just written for idiots, it seems. Oh, we'll bring it down eventually. You just see some like, you know that guy that works at NASA and he's always wearing like Hawaiian shirt. He's got a quiff and I don't know what his name is. He's got a quiff. He wears like Hawaiian shirts with naked ladies on it. You know, he's got like, I think he's like Southern American somewhere. Oh, that's so funny. Well, we'll be bringing it down eventually. I obviously can't do a voice, but there you go. We'll be bringing it down eventually. The idea has always been we commit to deorbiting it. But my sense is that they didn't actually think through the details until about 5 years ago, McDowell said. I wonder, is it him? Is it him? Maybe. Until then, it was like, la la la, it's in orbit. We're still building it. We're not going to worry about how to get rid of it. Which maybe isn't quite the way you should do things. I'm going to look at this McDowell guy. I wonder, is that the same fella I'm thinking of? McDowell NASA. Is this dude? Who's this dude? Oh, no. No, the one I'm thinking of is a lot younger than that. Nah. Okay. Back to here. No. Back to this one. One major voice in changing that has... What? One major voice in changing that has been NASA's Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel. One major voice in changing... I don't understand that sentence. The panel has been raising concerns for at least a decade about how the space station will end, spurred by the then upcoming retirement of NASA's space shuttle vehicles, which could have been used to deorbit the space station. The group is still citing the issue regularly in its analysis of NASA policies. The panel continues to track the open work status of the planned deorbit strategy of ISS and the fine-tuning of some wording in the related space station program document, David West, a member of the panel, said. We will continue to monitor the progress of getting agreement on the strategy by all parties. And we're going around in circles here, I feel. And we're not really getting anything, are we? Decades in the making. Do we just want to continue through this? It's quite large. Is there like a too long didn't read? Maybe we don't skip to the end. Committees, I know they're all the same. They're all the same. You couldn't design a camel, or if you were, what is it? A camel is a horse designed by a committee. Resubscribe 15 months by Brian. How are you doing? How are you? Hey, the fuck are you doing, love? What time is it in La La Land anyway? here on our own. Everyone alone. Almost one. How's traffic dealing with you over there, Brian? How's the traffic over where you are? Thank you so much, by the way, for your 15 months. 15 months? What a legend. What a bloody legend you are. Yes, indeed. I didn't think I had any vocals on any of this backing thing. Where's that come from? Oh, I see. Oh, a little bit of backing vocal never hurt anybody, I guess. I have to say, the way that I'm viewing, working on the computer means I can't see any comments from YouTube, from YouTube or Facebook. So, if anybody does comment on there, can you just let me know in the Twitch chat, Abby, so I can go and have a look, because I can't see it while I'm talking about space stations. Traffic is generally pretty bad. Are you? I guess you're San Francisco direction, are you? Well, if you know, Jeff, then he must be that area. Was it Southern California? I don't know where anything else. But I guess that's what we're doing. If you just joined us, we are talking about this International Space Station. We are learning. This is a live stream where I moan about my mental health and generally not being able to remember my own name from day to day. I have never done any work in my life. And then we learn about the space station. That's literally what happens on this show. Yeah. So if you just joined us, come on and chat with us in the chat. We're having a chat. Brian has joined us from San Francisco, and we've got London in the house, and we've got like the top of England in the house as well with Pete. All the food groups are represented. We don't have Sweden in tonight, unfortunately. Where's Bjorn? Where's Bjorn? And then a couple of other folks off Facebook. We're missing a big contingent that we had last week, but that's fine. You know. It's their loss, quite frankly. It's their loss. Alright, so let's wrong one. Wrong button. Let's go back to our space station learning zone, shall we? Oh yeah. Where did we get to? How did it? Okay, there we go. Will we just jump the shark? Jump the shark. Alright, so decisions in the making. Do we want to... I mean, let's have a consensus on this. Do we want to, like, know how they're coming to the decision, or we're just going to jump straight to how to destroy a space station? Yeah. Oh, it's on white text on white. Oh, crap-a-rooney. That's a shame. Maybe I can do something about that. Hold on. Of course I can, right? If I do this. That did nothing. Oh, hello. We don't really want that. Oh, it's all gonna go weird for a wee second. Oh no. Let me see if I can sort it out. Oh yeah, okay. Let me just see if I can do this. Just give me 1 second while I sort this out. How's that? Did that help any? Or is it not enough? Oh, come on now. Did that work? Give me a wee bit of space. If I need to move it out, just let me know. I'll move it out a wee bit. That'll do. It'll do, pig. It'll do. I'll just move this very bit. Like that. Is that better? That's quite a lot of space you got there. I shouldn't do this on the same computer. That's what's really messing it up. I'm just trying to do it all on one computer, which is not helpful. All right, so for the sake of our own sanity, we're just gonna skip the section to how to destroy a space station. How to destroy a space station. How to control the space station's re-entry. So we know it's gonna have to be either. So what have we learned today? We've learned that the space station will have to come down. It has to come down at some point. There's no way around that. It's coming down. It's coming down. So it's either going to be politics. They're going to run out of money. No one's going to want to put money in it. They're going to let it go. Or it'll be hit by debris. Or it will be hit by a meteorite. Or maybe it will... it might get hit by anything. It's basically loads of crap up there. And I think what we want to establish is we do not want it to become space junk. I think that's what they were saying about the Kessler 5. Right? They're saying they don't want it. Well, let's not do that. Let's do something sensible with it. They're going to crash it into the ocean? Well, we're going to find out, Brian. We're about to find out, lad. We're going to find out here right now. A group of engineers from NASA and Roscosmos. So you weren't here for that. Roscosmos is the Russian space agency. I didn't know this was called. So they have cosmonauts, right? Cosmos, Roscosmos. Oh, it's great. Anyway, so a group of engineers from NASA and Roscosmos presented a paper evaluating some disposal options at the 2017 International Astronautical Congress. Their work is based on deorbit procedures conducted on the Russian space station Mir in 2001. The International Space Station is about 3 times heavier. The Russian... What? The Mir... that's gone. Is that gone? Their work based on the deorbit procedure conducted on the Russian space station. So we've brought down the space station before, because when we speak about space, we're really not talking about Americans or Russians, really. We shouldn't be, in my mind. We should be talking about humans in general. It's like the human race did this. Well done, humans! I was watching one of those, I'm not going to say which show it was, although if you know me, you know which show it was. One of those talent shows. Let's just call it one of those reality talent shows that was on TV, right? I'm not going to name it and shame it. And one of the contestants on there, they said this, and then the program has re-quoted this thing over and over again in some of its edits. That the contestant says, we are at the forefront of human development, and they're on a reality talent show. And I'm like, fuck me, you guys don't even understand what the forefront of human development actually means. And it's not saying how much makeup you can whack on your face. It's bringing space stations down safely, getting to Mars, creating microwaves. I don't know. A lot of this stuff is war-based, isn't it? It was created so we could kill each other. But that's how development happens. If you really want to develop the human race further, just start a massive fucking war. Yeah. We're not going to go down that. We're not going down that rabbit hole. Anyway, we've brought down a space station before. Going off topic a little bit. Who starts a freaking paragraph with but? Who wrote this? Right, and now I'm annoyed. Who actually wrote this? Piece of crap. Megan Bartels. You need to sort your life out, love. Of course, it wasn't even written by Scientific America, was it? It was written by Space.com. Megan Bartels. Who starts a paragraph with a but? Come on. Where do we get there? I'm sitting fucking annoyed by that. Oh, Megan. No. But the gist of the plan mirrors how the space station retains its altitude during normal operations. Most commonly, the Russian Progress cargo vehicle. A Russian Progress cargo vehicle will either conduct a burn while docked to the station to transfer fuel into the main service module's thrusters. What? Hold on. Most commonly, a Russian Progress cargo vehicle will either conduct a burn while docked to the station or transfer fuel into the main service module's thrusters to fuel the station's own burn. Either way, the station climbs. I thought we were talking about... okay. In a controlled deorbit, Progress vehicles would do the same thing but in reverse direction, lowering the station's lowest altitude. Lowering the station's lowest altitude. Depending on the precise array of spacecraft at hand, the service module thrusters could also be used. I feel like these two paragraphs have been gurgitated from somewhere else. I feel like this paragraph has definitely been stolen from somewhere else and then just plonked into here. It's like poor editing. I think that's what's happened. I know, right? It's not just me. I mean, I've had a few, but come on. That's crazy. And I also haven't read out loud. You know, like you used to do it at school, and the more practice you have, the better you're at it. And I haven't done it for a long time because no one ever listens to me talk. You know, so if I'm messing reading out these paragraphs, I do apologise. I haven't read out loud in years. But we get better with practice. And we'll get better if we pick better articles to read in the first place. And I think the fact that this was a massive clickbait by you know, like the International Space Station is doomed to die by fire. I think the fact that was its clickbait title in the first place really doomed this whole project to be a bit crap. Anyway. So they're basically saying that we can either fuel thrusters on the space station or they can have like a tugboat ship can come and pull it into orbit. These carefully timed burns would maneuver the station lower at only one point in its orbit, making the re-entry more predictable and allowing managers to target the debris to the vast, sparsely populated Southern Pacific Ocean. So that's you, Brian. You'll be out collecting it when it comes down. You're right, it is the ocean. The rest is up to the destructive power of Earth's atmosphere. The strategy, unsurprisingly, has its risks. If something knocks a burn off schedule, well, there goes the predictability. What a genius sentence. Well done, Megan. Fuck me. She's having a right good time writing this one. In 2017, the 2017 paper lays out options both for a scheduled deorbit and in response to a potential catastrophe on the space station. If something suddenly goes unfixably wrong on the orbiting laboratory, the organizations behind the facility will have just 2 weeks to decide how to proceed. The group wrote. Why only 2 weeks? Where did that come from? Because after 2 weeks it'll fall unpredictably. Unfixably. I know, right? Unfixably. I heard a story about a satellite that crashed in northern China. They had to go and buy the pieces back from looters that found it. Cheaper than making new one. Nice. Well, you got to make sure that your satellites are fixably in space. What is going on? What is happening with that? Hey, what is going on? Oh yeah, so are they saying that if something fucking broke on the space station, you've got 2 weeks before you can not control where it lands? Is that what we're saying? I don't know what we're saying. The International Space Station's successor may face a much smoother retirement, although still a fiery one. I don't think these sentences... do you know what I think, right? If I have to be absolutely 100% honest about this article that we're currently reading, I feel like there was a clickbait title, right? That Megan thought would get everybody in. It got us in. We're reading it. We're talking about it. I feel like it pulled us in. And then she was like, no one's going to read all the way down, right? So I'm just going to fucking dial it in. No one, they'll already know that that was a clickbait title. They'll have clicked on it. I'll have sold them the advertising revenue. We'll have made what we needed to make out of this article. And then I'll just dial it in. I'll just copy and paste some crap. And nobody will read this far down anyway. Because I feel like the further down we get in this article, the worse it gets. There's no context to some of this. And it's just poorly edited and poorly written. Megan, no love. But I'm invested. I have to say, I am invested now, so we're going to finish it. Sorry. It's very dramatized. It is very dramatized. While I don't think that's a scientific way to write an article, I am kind of enjoying it. So that is 1 point that you've got, Megan. 1 point in your homestead. For sure. Texas-based Axiom Space. I don't even know how to pronounce that. What's that? Axiom Space is planning to launch a new station. Is planning to launch new station modules beginning next year. When was this written? 2020. Texas base beginning next year, and as commercial interest in assessing orbit grows, is planning to launch new station modules beginning next year, and as commercial interest in accessing orbit grows and the ISS ages, eventually split off from... This is not right. I'm not mental. This is poorly written, right? Eventually split off from the International Space Station to form its own free-flying orbital facility. So these guys are going to send up more stuff that will attach to the ISS now, but will be the next generation that will just take over when the ISS is done. Is that what we're saying? Yeah, she has. Yeah, it's awful. But this company has learned from the space station's complicated fate that has already wrestled with how its facility will end. The company is planning its modules to be more truly modular than those on the space station, with the capability to easily remove and replace segments anyway. Giving the company flexibility in its future. The arrangement also means that each module can control its own fate. Each module is going to be designed with its own guidance, navigation, and control. What? Its own thruster capabilities. Who is this person? Meander said. Who's that? This is a new character, right? Megan has introduced a new character and not said who they are. So they can fly essentially on their own, and then when they need to, they can separate and return through Earth's atmosphere on their own. That sounds like some kind of like a Power Ranger suit up, isn't it? Like each one will be its own entity, and then you put them together. It's like a transformer, like a big transformer, possibly. Yeah. And then it just ends. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Look. Then it just ends. This was. I feel like I want to write to this woman. Is a science journalist based in New York. Love. No. No, love. No. No, 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 no. This is not good. Is this more about the stuff that she's written? I'm not interested. But so just put her on the shit list. Megan Bartels. Fuck you, love. Do you know what? There was years ago now. Years ago now there was an article in like the Metro, I think. Or no, it was BBC. It was BBC. I was in the civil service. I was really bored, and I was just dicking around on the BBC news site. And there was this woman who apparently worked for the Financial Times, and I don't remember her name, but it was the only article I've ever read where I'm like, I am so close to emailing in to your boss and telling them to sack you, because this is unreasonable. So she was working for the Financial Times, and she was talking about cycling around London, right? And oh my god, it was just like all female cyclists. You know, the life of female cyclists has been growing and like for years. And then this woman's one article in BBC just ripped out so much of it. Hey, mom's in the house. We're talking about a bad journalists right now. Anyway, so this woman was writing an article about riding her bike around London. And she was like, she hates the guys who are like standing on their bike. They just stand still. It's called a track start, where you start and you're balanced on your bike and your feet aren't on the floor. And she hates those guys. And she hates like all the other men on the road and all this here stuff. And then she was giving tips to women about how to protect their high heel shoes while riding a bicycle. And the first thing that struck me was like, why are you riding a bicycle with high heel? Why are you wearing high heel shoes riding a bicycle, right? And her go-to answer about how you stop your work shoes getting dirty while you ride them on a bicycle was to get condoms and put them over the top of your feet, your shoes, for waterproof protection. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Maybe it was a satire article that was written and the BBC republished it as actual news, or like, I don't know what. It was ridiculous, but it sounded not like satire at the time when I was reading it. Awful. Awful, 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 awful. Actually, oh, there we go. What have you missed? We have been talking about the International Space Station and how it is going to die by fire. And really all we learned was that there's a girl called Megan Bartle who writes for space.com who needs slapped with a grammatical dictionary. I know you're probably thinking, well, you want to talk, but I don't write professionally for websites. So we basically just read through an article that was complete trash. It we learned stuff at the beginning, but then it just turned into nonsense because it had a nice, what do you call it? It had like a clickbaity title. And then she obviously thought nobody was going to read the whole article because they would have just like read the first couple of paragraphs and then just, left. So she basically didn't try at all in the second half of the article, and it made no sense. So, yeah, there we go. I don't think we learned an awful lot. Maybe we learned a lot we learned a little bit about the fact that there is another company making a new space station in which each module will have its own navigation and own thrusters, and it's, can land itself back on the Earth, can land itself back to Earth. And then the modules connect to the space to ISS as it is now. But when ISS is done, the new modules will become a new space station on their own. And when they need to, they'll just come back to Earth. I think that's what we learned. Is that what we learned? We also, oh no, we did. We also found out that the International Space Station is likely to be dropped into South Pacific Ocean. Pacific, not Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I think that's what we learned. I think that's about as far as it got. And that's how for now. Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that's it. Anyone else got a space question that we want to cover? Otherwise, well, I think I'll just call it a day, to be fair. Oh, my phone is too close to my microphone, so I apologize. Too close to my microphone. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, so it's very... Come on. It's very likely that the space station will... Either politics will ruin it, so the politicians will decide they don't want to spend any more money on it, and it will have to come down, or it will have a failure. And what did she call it? If the space station becomes unfixably... Fixably was actually a word that she used on that article. Unfixably. Unbelievable. And she started paragraphs with and but. That's the kind of poor formatting that you would find on my dissertation. My uni dissertation. That thing when you're handing in your end of degree essay, and they're like, make sure the formatting is right. It's a really easy thing to get right. Just make sure the paragraphs, like chapters start at the top of pages. That's what they told me at the beginning of my dissertation. It's an easy score to get good formatting scores. So make sure your stuff's formatted. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll definitely make sure that happens. And then when I got to the dissertation, I did everything in the last day. The whole thing was like handed in the last, printed and booked, binded in the last second of handing it in. And so, of course, all the formatting was wrong. Of course it was. Does she know space station is covered in green algae with space cows eating it? No, I don't think she does. And I bet if we told her, she'd believe it. That's my life. The article did talk about space pollution. She got that right. And now I am worried. Now, you know what? She said that the Russian space agency was called Roscosmos. And I don't know that that's true. And now I'm worried that that's just lies. So I'm going to look that up. Oh, didn't change my channel. It's all right. Whoop. What is the space... what is the Russian space agency called? Yeah, she spelt that wrong. She literally spelt it wrong the whole way through, didn't she? She spelt it with a C. I'm now offended. Who is this woman? We're not gonna do that. That's not fair, is it? Can we do that? I don't think we can do that. Should we WhatsApp her and see what see what the crack is? That's not cool. Her whole spelt wrong. The whole thing was spelt wrong. Unbelievable. I'm annoyed even at that now. Hey, look at that guy. Look at that dude. I wanna click on this. Where's this? Roscosmos. So yeah, but look at that dude. There he is. What's he doing? He's riding some sort of bike. There you go. He's riding a space bike. I'm riding a space bike. Why not? Hey? Why not? Yeah, so it's not. I mean, I just want to find out how this woman even got employed. I mean, come on, Megan. Is this what you actually wanted to do with your life? I mean, is that really what you went to all? I'm sure you must have went to college at some point. I mean, you must have done. Articles by Megan Bartels. All right, we're going to space.com. We're going to have a look at this. I wonder, is it just like total crap from start to finish? Is space.com not worth looking at? I mean, we had this. Did we have this last week? I felt like maybe we did. You're criticizing her for spelling. I am criticizing her for spelling because she is a professional writer and I am an idiot who is not a professional writer. And when I put out stuff that people are selling and taking in, you know, I get you to spell check it. Yeah, see, Abby's backing me up. It wasn't just a spelling. I mean, in fairness, that's the getting that space agency spelled wrong, the spelling wrong, was the only spelling mistake I think I found. It was the starting paragraphs with but and starting sentences with and was the first trigger, the first red flag that we saw that this was not going well. That something was amiss. And, you know, we've only just discovered that she didn't bother to even look at the right spelling for Roscosmos, which I'm probably not even pronouncing right, so I can't say anything. But I am not a professional writer putting out articles on space.com. So I think the first thing I want to establish here is something that we did go into last week. And that was, is space.com reliable, credible? Is that, I'm pretty sure we did this last week. Review for teachers. Let's look at that. Teachers will likely find space.com most useful as a reference site. It's a good place to resource articles from astrophysics journals. These resources could help give students practice. Okay. Its overall rating is a 3 out of 5. I don't know. Is that good? Bad? Indifferent? I don't know. For school kids, it does feel like it was a sort of article that a school kid could get into. For sure. Right, so let's look at, I don't subscribe to that. Megan is a senior writer. Oh, come on. And has more than 5 years experience as a science journalist based in New York City. She joined Space.com in July 2018 with previous writing published in outlets including Newsweek. What? She has an MA in science journalism. She's on Twitter. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Oh, yeah. Abby has to read and check most of your application statements. Sure, yeah. Right, so what I'm wondering, Liz, I mean, does she have a lot of clickbait? Maybe it was just she just dialed that one in. Maybe, maybe we're being harsh on her. James Webb Space Station Telescope gets its own micro meteoroid forecast. Nice. Okay, that's nice. NASA loses more than 200 Jupiter photos after Juno probe camera glitch. It's not very that. I mean, who's going to click on that? It's not very clickbaity, is it? The Comet Interceptor probe could visit a stunning object like the Green Sea. Okay. Grounded spacecraft look for new space rocks to visit. Yeah. It doesn't. There's not a lot of clickbaity things. NASA's DART asteroid smash flung 2 million pounds of rock into space. Astronomers discover strange twin alien planets might be water worlds. Amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to go into things, but I mean, I think like the one article we read does seem to be quite clickbaity compared to the rest of them, which do seem to be like a little bit more. But these are all new ones, of course. So maybe she was just a wee bit more clickbaity in 2020, and now she's grown up a bit. Maybe, I don't know. Rock. There's nothing really of interest in any of those, so yeah. Look at that guy on his bike. He loves it. Look at him. He's loving it. He's loving it, so he is. Anyway, I think that probably concludes the lesson for today, folks. I think so. I think we probably learned something there. So we're going off on tour on... we're going to be in Bristol on Sunday. On tour. There's all the dates that we've currently got booked. I've got more dates to add, thank God. If it wasn't for those Comic Cons, I wouldn't have any shows. So I'm very, 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 very grateful to Anime League for giving me some shows, because that is crackers. That is crackers that we didn't book any other shows. So we're just going to do the country with Anime League. Comic Con o'clock. And hope seeing all those shows, all those Comic-Con shows will get us some music venue shows. Because we like a good mix. We like a good mix, so we do. Yeah. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to go, Rick? You can come. If you want. You both can come, actually. You and Abby, if you want the weekend. If you want a couple of days at a prog festival. Just come as my crew. Yeah, we'll get they put us up, because we were supposed to have, there was supposed to be 3 of us anyway, the band. And I'm not taking the band. So if you guys want to go to HRH Prog, then just let me know. I think we get like the Prog Award. I'm playing the Prog Awards, which is on the Wednesday or the Thursday. And then I'm either playing the Friday or the Saturday. I'm not sure actually what day I'm playing. Night night, mother, night night. But what they're gonna do is put us up from like the Thursday to the whatever day the show's on. So if I'm playing the Saturday, then we get Thursday, Friday, Saturday on site at the thing. So if you want to do that, just come, and then we get they put us up in the caravan. It's really nice. I mean, we can't stay the whole weekend because you can only stay the days that you get the room for, the board for, because they sometimes, if it's a really big festival, they charge artists for doing it. So why don't you have a think about that, and then come back to me, because that is possible. That is a possibility. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day there. I think we're gonna call it a night at that. We've learned something. The stream started badly. I had a bit of a hoo-ha in my own head, and really all I needed to do was just stop thinking about myself, stop talking about myself, and just get into something fun. And we did that. And now I actually feel a lot better about myself. So thank you, Pete, Mum, and Abby, and Rick, the whole Rock family. You know, thanks for helping me out of my little funk. Still haven't found my wallet. Got my phone and my keys, though. Yeah, I know where my house is. That's probably a good enough start. And I've got, we're off tomorrow. We're doing nothing but band Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays now. So I'm happy about all of those things. So I'm gonna just go home now. I'm just gonna turn everything off. I'm probably gonna get an Uber home because I'm lazy. And maybe get some food. Oh, one of the no, I will say this very, very shortly. This last piece. So, we talked about last week. We talked about this book that has the goals in it and stuff. And one of the goals was to lose a stone in weight, right? And I haven't weighed myself in ages, but I've been 12 stone for a long time. And like all the way through lockdown, 12 stone. Just never put on that much. It just was always 12 stone. Didn't put any weight on, whatever. So I just thought it was 12 stone when I put down that I wanted to lose a stone this year. And I weighed myself, and I'm actually now 13 stone. So if I lose 1 stone, I'm still going to be where I thought, only going to end up where I thought I was starting. So that's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing. But that's it. I mean, that's about all you can say about that, really, isn't it? It's a bit cray-cray. Why not end on a downer? Why not? Hey ho, trials and tribulations, being old and all that nonsense. Anywho's, let's just leave it there. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get myself a wee Uber. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna have a bath. I'm gonna eat some food. I'm just gonna eat some food and not. That's how I got onto the weight thing. Because I shouldn't be eating late at night, but I'm going to order myself maybe a sandwich. Weighing is overrated, yeah, for sure. And maybe get myself a Subway sandwich from somewhere. A veggie sandwich, and then eat that in the bath, and go to sleep, and then get up early tomorrow. Carpe them DMs. Carpe them DMs, and then we're going to be out at Bristol. I'm going to be staying with some friends Saturday night down in Bristol, because Bristol's a really early start. We have to get in and set the stall up. And I'm playing at like 3 o'clock or whatever time I'm playing at. So it's kind of full on, but we're going to do it. Indeed, sleep solves a lot. Sure does, Mick. Sure does. Anyway, thanks for all for coming out and hanging out with me this evening. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll be back next Thursday around about 8 o'clock. I'm not gonna I shouldn't really say 8 o'clock on the dot, because I was late. There's actually before I go, another thing. Next week at 7 o'clock, I'm being interviewed on another live stream. So I might just share all of that with everybody, because I think that'll be interesting, because it's like one of the support bands from the Wakefield show is so it has a live stream on a Thursday night where they play songs and whatnot, and so that's interesting. So I'll be chatting with them at 7 p.m. next Thursday, and then I'll come on to the stream afterwards. So I'll definitely link people into that. It'll be a lot of fun, I think. Well, it'll be something. It'll definitely be something. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks to the Rock family, Pete, Mom, everybody else. Have a nice time. Remember that you can still comment, like, and share this. Don't share this live stream. It's crap. Don't share it. But I'll put up like snippets of stuff that was actually alright throughout the week. And then you can share those. Remember that hearts, likes, follows, shares, all of those things really add up for a small band. If you like the videos, share them. If you like the music videos, just send them to your friends who might be into it. And if you see any of our adverts, please interact with them and just share them around. There's going to be a lot of my marketing manager Alex is going to be getting a lot of ads out. So please just interact with them a little bit, and even if you're just commenting with a woohoo or well, you go girl or something, I don't know, anything you like. It just all helps build the engagement, and the more people do it. Sharing is daring. Sharing is caring. Um, Sharing is daring. It's daring for you to help a small streamer out. It all helps anyway. It all helps. So just remember to do that. And we'll be back next Thursday. Alrighty, see you all.